Hi there, well today on this cold, rainy, traffic pouring past day, we're going to have a go at adjusting the brake on this Bailey Caravan. Essentially the handbrake is coming up further than I would like it to, but also when the car comes to a halt and the Caravan catches up, there's a very slight thump which doesn't make me happy. In addition, if the brake isn't working properly, then there might be a risk that the trailer control will not function properly, and that could be disastrous. So let's get this job done, see if we can stay reasonably dry. And I apologise in advance for the sound of the traffic pouring past. Here's a list of all the tools that we use. We've got an axle stand, a torch, some pieces of wood, a 19mm ratchet spanner, we've got a 19mm wheel brace, we've got a selection of screwdrivers, a wire brush to clean up, and a trolley jack to lift it up. You could use the jack that is provided with your car or with the van, but I prefer to use a trolley jack because it's quicker and easier, and I've got one. But if you don't, then any jack that will support it. A scissor jack, probably the safest, and always have a piece of wood between your jack and the chassis. Don't be tempted to lift the Caravan on its cornerstones. They're just to support it. So all I did was I just kissed the ground with those just in case anything went drastically wrong, but the most of the weight was taken on the axle stands. Well, the next job is to take the handbrake off and lift it up with the trolley jack. So before taking the handbrake off, I've chopped all the wheels with some bricks that we had left over from having the driveway done, and these have got nice angles on it, and I've got loads of them. Chopped the other wheel and also the jockey wheel. So I'm going to be using a trolley jack that I have, and also I'm going to fit in an axle stand, and I've got various bits of wood to go on the top of it because I don't trust working under any vehicle that's just held on a hydraulic jack. I would always support it with a pair of axle stands. Okay, so the Caravan is now lifted. I just need to get a trolley jack underneath it and then drop it down. So I need to give it enough height so that I can come down again onto the axle stand, but not so high that it's impossible to deal with. Okay, so that's done on blocks underneath. Okay, and it's also being supported at the same time using the trolley jack, but I'm relying on the axle stand to keep it supported. Okay, so now let's spin these wheel nuts off. This is also a good opportunity to check the tread on the tyre, just spin it round. These were new only about 8 months ago, but just look for anything untoward, any nails, any cuts and tears. It's looking pretty good. And also check the tyre pressures, which are mentioned on a plate next to the door. These, it's ridiculously hard, 62 psi. Well, I don't know if you can see there, I've just got the light on it, but there's a hole. Now that normally should have a blanking plug in it, but for some reason or other they're missing on here. They're probably missing on everybody's. But next to it you can see a little arrow just here, and that arrow is telling us which way we need to move the adjuster. And we're just going to keep adjusting until we can't turn the wheel anymore, and make sure it's reasonably tight. And before you get down here, I would recommend you get yourself a great wodge of screwdrivers. Don't know if you can see all of these, because you don't quite know which one's going to fit, and when you get down here, my goodness, you don't want to get back up if you're my age. So let's have a go with a little wooden handled one, so that'll give you a bit more space, I think, to see. Have a little look. That one won't fit. Let's try again. And you should be able to hear it clicking as I turn. It's now to the point where I cannot turn this. So now I need to go back by 9 clicks. So that's take it up against the direction that the arrow is pointing. Okay, so that's now done, and there's just the very slightest noise when you turn this, which suggests that it's free running, but it's close. Okay, so let's give this a bit of a spin. Seems to be running freely, and there's just the slightest binding sound. So what I'm going to do is to just recheck it by putting the handbrake on to recenter the shoes just in case there's anything that's not quite there, and then release the brake again, and then we'll test it a second time. Okay, so now it flows freely round without any binding, which I'm just going to give it another quick adjust. So lock it and then unlock it now with the shoes having been properly centered. Well, there you go. I did it up by 3 clicks and then I backed it off by 3 clicks and it made no difference, so we know the shoes are properly in the center. So now I can put it all back together again. And then finally, once we got it on the ground and we know it's properly supported all the way around, then our next job is just to properly tighten up the nuts. Now I haven't got my torque wrench with me, so I'm going to do these to 65 newtons. That'll do. Now to do the other side. Thanks for watching.